Hi everyone, Susie here from Minnesota, and I garden in a zone 4B, and I wanted to take you on a tour of my backyard cottage garden. The William Baffin Climbing Rose is doing really good. The bees love this single petal variety. I love this view right here. This is a rose that does really good in my zone, so very happy that I found this one. This has been here for 4 years though. Walking through is always a challenge because it is always loaded with bees. This is Hydrangeas cespitosa. I love this grass. It doesn't have as many plumes this year as it did last, but it does like it a little damper, and last year we were just so dry. So I think it affected a little bit, but I'm just glad to see it survived. These are all Veronica in here. I started from seed 2 years ago. It's got a huge area. I've got white, pink, and purple. Purple is my favorite. It just seems more prolific. Because I started it from seed, it does self-seed, so, but I let it, I love it. This is also easy, double red rose. This is gorgeous. I have not been the best rose grower this year. I have not fertilized any of them yet. I just have been busy elsewhere, so I think they're doing really good. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best at fertilizing anything. Most plants don't need it, but some do need it more than others. I think it's doing really good. Got a delphinium in there that I started from seed. I would say about 50% of the plants in this garden I started from seed, at least last year or 2 years ago. Carl Forster, Calamitocrasis grass. I did have a miscanthus here last year. It just got so huge, so I'm hoping that this is a little bit better where I can see more of the plants. It's a little more see-through, so it's just starting. It's covered in plumes this year. These grasses, there's three clumps here, and then over here, very happy to see them surviving. I have not watered them at all this season. I would say the last 6 to 8 weeks, we've gotten maybe 2 inches of rain. So those grasses were in these beds here, this bed, and then this bed, and I just made it all into veggies. And these are all tomatoes in here. I started from seed, looking good, along with all of the marigolds. I have some tomatoes forming already. We had some really warm weather in May, and then we had a little bit of a cool down, which is greatly appreciated. Right now it's really nice. They are talking some storms today, so maybe we'll get something. But look at that. I'm loving the marigolds this year. This delphinium is blue. I cannot speak this morning. Is when I started from seed. It looks amazing. It is probably about 5 feet tall. I do have it in a cage, so I just worry about storms. So it's not a very tall one. It's just a peony cage. Seems pretty stable, but doesn't mean that it can't snap off up here, but I'll enjoy it while I can. The baptisia has all gone over and I'm left with these seed pods, which is really cool. I don't prune this. I love the foliage. I love the look. I love plants that look fantastic even after blooming. And this one definitely does. Oop, I went past this. I do always have one section of this rose over here that kind of suffers from chlorosis, but the rest looks really healthy and green, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. But it's covered in buds. It's purple pavement rose. And it's okay in blooms. They don't last long, but the scent makes up for it. It is amazing. The William Baffin rose doesn't have a whole lot of scent. I love that wild look. Probably should get in there and tie up some of these canes. I will at some point. I keep saying that, but eventually I will. Lupins are going to seed, which I also started from seed last year, just a little bit. I'm gonna let them do that. Maybe they'll scatter all over and help me. Penstemon, onyx, and pearls. It is beautiful. I love the foliage. Peonies have gone over. Very short-lived this year due to being in high 80s and 90s. Right now we're in the high 70s, low 80s. It would have been perfect, but I do have a foxglove in here. It's a Dalmatian rose. I had started these seeds last year, so very happy that one survived. Haven't had the best luck of them returning or seeding all over, so. All the delphiniums I started from seed last year, doing really good. This grass here has been amazing. This is pixie founted tufted hair grass. This right here is just one clump. I do have 3. This one just started way earlier than others, but oh, look at that. Probably my favorite grass so far. Clematis, I have 2 on here, Nellie Moser. The first flush has finished and then the second flush is coming. It's a little pinker, but I do have a lot more buds. And then I do have Princess Kate on here. That one had died to the ground, so not sure. These are the little ones here, how that's gonna do. Oh, right here. It's definitely not a big enough support, but that's, I'll just keep winding it around. Should not be a problem. The mosquitoes have been absolutely horrible. For the lack of rain, you would think we wouldn't have that issue, but oh. I'm gonna go just show you the back here real quick. These are doing good, and they've been through a transition. So now they're starting off to put lots of buds. These are green beans. I think some bleaching due to the sun. Arborvitaes are doing really good. I'm very happy. Have not taken the supports away yet. I'll probably leave them just a little bit. It might do okay. I just put, these are daylilies I started from seed. And I just want to see if they bloom this year and what color they might be. I collected those from seed from my own plants last year. More tomatoes over here. So I have 12 tomatoes total. That's a lot, but I love tomatoes. I have Clematis back there just starting. On the right, Viticella Polish Spirit. You can see a little bit starting. It will at the top soon, and then on the left, Pink Mink. And then Incredible Hydrangea, can't wait. It's got quite a few buds on there. Lots of Creeping Jenny in here. I'm just trying to work with it. I thought this had died on this. I'm just shocked that it came back. This is a Father Gila or Father Gilla. I love that steely blue foliage with the other colors in here, especially with the chartreuse color, the Creeping Jenny, but also the Durvilla back here with that purple foliage. It's blooming, but I don't think it's anything spectacular. I'd walk in there, but every time I walk in the Creeping Jenny, mosquitoes just swarm me. This is an oh so easy paprika rose. First flush is done. It will just keep blooming throughout the season, as you can see there. Probably would do a lot better if I would actually fertilize it. That is on my to-do list, but my to-do list is very long. Nepeta looks fantastic down here. I do have a hardy geranium. I did move this last year in the season, so it's just a little clump. It does get big. Not many blooms are being thrown off, but looking good. And this is a primrose that I got from a friend so many years ago. I just think that color with the purple is beautiful. I do have a lone survivor of bee balm. And then Autumn Joy sedum is getting eaten up. I'm gonna have to get in here and trim some of this away so it can actually make an appearance. This is Sabaria sobrifolia stem. It does run all over the place. It is covered in buds. It's a favorite shrub. It loves it here. Very little maintenance. And then the primrose does run. It used to have a huge drift of yellow, so you can see some popping up in here. But it did used to go from about here and then go all the way over here. So it's not an aggressive plant, so it does spread, but it's very easily controlled, and it does get snuffed out by more aggressive varieties. I'm gonna go up. This is Anthos Valerian. I started this from seed 2 years ago. And the scent to me is amazing, and it does self-seed. But I don't think I'll mind with this because the scent is amazing. Every time I'm out here, I just don't know if it's a cherry or vanilla. It's a very sweet smell. These other areas, I really don't consider this my cottage garden area. These used to be my shade gardens until 2 huge trees were taken down in winter, so. But I did want to show you this real quick. The goat spirit over here looks amazing. This is a very mature clump, and I would say it's probably pushing about 5.5 feet tall. And then even when these go over, it's still gorgeous. And I leave them. Alchemilla mollis lady's mantle is a favorite in my gardens. Again, it's just, the blooms are beautiful and the foliage is beautiful. So what's not to love about this plant? And it tolerates pretty much anything I throw at it. Or I shouldn't say at me, Mother Nature. More of the pixie-founded tufted hairgrass. I did have 2 clumps of, like 1 clump here, then I had a clump here, and then I did have some on the other side, but last year my backyard was flooded, and then this spring it was flooded, so I'm just kind of planting more hostas. And all these hostas were from an existing garden. Hardy geranium, Biokovo. It will not flower again, but the foliage is beautiful. It does maintain that form. It does not get lanky, but it does spread. Yeah, so these are all moved, but I don't think they're loving it also. Just so much sun. It's fading pretty badly. And then with being dry, that has not helped. More lady's mantle. And the pollinators love this too. And the foliage has a beautiful scent to me. Very herbal. This is a favorite. Always has been, always will be. This has probably been here for 5 years. So it is a huge clump, I would say about 3 feet wide. Maybe about 2 feet tall. I've been having lots of rabbit damage. And then this is probably my biggest clump yet. I would say it's probably 6 feet in length here. And I'm just letting it, it's very easy, low maintenance, and it's just kind of helping me fill in a spot and look beautiful at the same time. This Veronica here I had started from seed last year. This is Pink Goblin. Cannot wait. It has, so again, I started from seed, so it does spread. I did have a lot of clumps in here, and this one got huge. Very surprised, happy. And then down here also. The Astrantia is doing pretty good. It's starting to go over a little bit, but it's still pretty. Lots of new growth in there, so happy to see that. This is Rose Campion. I started this last year, never got any blooms, just the foliage, but look at that. I think this is a stunning combo right here. And this is Italian Ice, also Easy Rose. Very luminescent. I cannot explain the color, especially in the evening. It is a small rose, which is fine. Oh, let me get in here. Lots of weeding to do, but those mosquitoes keep chasing me out. But look at that. and Veronica white wands. I do have some yarrow in back just starting. I just can't get over this rose. I wouldn't even know what color to call it because it is like a peach pink salmon all mixed in one. Gorgeous. I do have some Amsonia back here. That's just now starting to go over, but I love the blue with this rose. I think that's gorgeous also. Oh, I do have some alliums starting to get heads. A lot has taken over in here, so, and I kind of let it. I just take a back seat in my cottage garden, step in when I need to, like trimming up the peonies there. There's always got to be a plane in the video, doesn't there? And then the lamb's ear looks amazing. I did trim some up. Some of it was laying on my plants. So I'm letting it do what it wants out here because I do love that look spilling out. But if it is smothering a plant, I've been cutting it. Whole combination I'm just loving right now. It was supposed to be a peaceful garden tour, but oh well. Bee balm should be starting in the next week or so. Everything's about a week to almost 2 weeks ahead just because we have beautiful weather. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Even the heat is welcomed. Winters in Minnesota are horrible. Delphiniums are just, I'm loving them this year. I have not staked these. These only get about 3 feet tall, but I do worry with storms and rain. I'll just take my chances. Maybe the plants will hold them up, which is also why I kind of like a really packed cottage garden. And then this is wee white hydrangea. Can't wait. I mean, for this tiny little plant, it is covered. And I mean, this, I pretty much cut back to almost base level because of the winter that we had. With the heavy snow, it broke off almost, not all, but I would say 50% of my hydrangeas, the smaller ones, but they're doing really good. This is Campanula, Tellum Beauty. I started this from seed also. Lots of purples. I did have some salvia that made it. I thought I got rid of all of it. I don't mind it. It tends to look a little ratty, but it's just amazing. It has all the different hues of blues in here, or purples. Sorry about the jerkiness there. I do love grasses in the garden. I did move some of my pixie phone and tufted hair grass over in here to just kind of make a bigger area of it. So we'll see how that works. And then this hardy geranium is Bevan's variety. It has gone over, but again, I will come in and deadhead at some point, but the foliage is just amazing. I think it makes a nice little hedge here. I always thought this would be a nice little hedge in kind of a rose garden, and then taller things planted in back. I'm just running out of areas, and I only expand whenever I feel like I can keep up. And so far, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little bit bored now this year, but that's a really good thing. Now I can just sit back and enjoy weed whenever the bugs aren't getting me. This is a beautiful view. One of my favorites right now, especially with this combination here. If there are any questions about the varieties that I grow, please leave it in the comments. I will get back to you. I'm pretty sure I covered I usually cover plants that are blooming or that are in all their glory. Because if I would go over every plant, I'd probably be here forever, and not that that's a bad thing, but this garden though has taken probably about, I want to say around 5 years to actually be happy with. I'm still debating about, oh, I didn't show you one thing. Certain things in the garden, like the delphiniums have made me truly happy. Where have they been my whole life? I don't know why I haven't planted them before. Foxgloves, they're biennial, so they're kind of a hit or miss with me. The lupins I love. The fact that you can start them from seed is amazing. My delphiniums did bloom for me the first year, and one of my lupins did throw off a bloom also the first year. This was, I'm not sure if I showed you this. This is Nepeta. I do not know if this is cat's pajamas or Persian blue, but I'm going to rethink something else here because there should be no reason why it's doing this. And this is a drought tolerant plant. And it should love it here. It gets a lot of sun. I do not fertilize this. There's no reason for this. So, and it's the one that looks the most horrible. So, but I'm still trying to figure out what I want to put here. This one looks pretty good, but you can just see it kind of looks like two different plants in here. And that one looks just a little bit taller, so I'm not sure. I did have a lot of Nepeta in here last year, just kind of a huge swath of it, but a lot of it has just died out. And then I didn't think this was going to bloom this year for me, but this is a gypsophila. But look, it will. And then it's called Festival Star. So I can't wait. I'm hoping this blooms when some of these roses are still blooming, because I think that'll be absolutely gorgeous along with this Veronica. Can't have too much Veronica in your garden. Honestly, this is a beautiful perennial. And then the firelight tidbit back there, I don't know if I had showed you in an earlier video. This one also I had just pretty much cut to the ground. I mean, I made it more of a tidbit, but it has bounced back nicely, and I'm super happy about that. I really thought it wasn't going to do much this year. But yeah, it has taken a bit to finally really love this garden and kind of get some really good combos. But that's the fun part of gardening. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed, and bye for now.